Hi students, this is lesson 4.5, writing a function rule. We're going to learn how to write equations that represent functions, and we're going to learn how to use function notation. Here's an example of that. Go ahead and check out this review. Make sure you read this part carefully. I'm going to pause now. All right, the first function rule we're going to write is for this deal where Carolyn has 420 CDs in her collection. Each month she adds 12 more CDs to her collection. What equation is a function rule that represents this situation? So I'm going to use function notation also when I do this so we can start to get used to that. But the number of CDs she has is a function of the number of months. So we're going to write, and we're going to use C to represent the number of CDs. And then in parentheses, and this is kind of in place of Y, I'm going to put an N where N is the number of months that she's been buying CDs. And so just like we would do Y equals, and if we had X, then the equation would be 12 times the number of months plus the 420 she had to begin with. And normally you would just see this as 12x plus 420, but when we're using function notation, we write it like this. This parentheses in this case does not mean multiply. It just shows us what our independent variable is. What is our input value? And the input variable is in parentheses. Go ahead, you try that. Okay, this one we're going to write the function rule and then we're going to evaluate it. So an archery club charges an annual membership fee of $65 plus $2 per visit. The function rule for the total cost belonging to the club if you make V visits per year. So we need a function that represents the membership fee. So let's use F for fee, which a lot of times you'll see functions written with F anyway as a general rule. So, and we're going to use V for visits in a year. So our function, our cost, our fee is a function of the number of visits. And it's charged this way. You pay $65 plus $2 per visit. So 2V plus $65 is what that fee is going to be. And then how much would it cost? And you're probably thinking you just do 2 times 15 plus 65, which is correct. In function notation, you would say this. So F of 15, and that's just a short way of saying the fee for 15 visits. So F of 15 is equal to 2 times 15 plus 65, which equals 30 plus 65 is $95. So $95 for 15 visits. All right, let me try that. Okay, remember we can have linear or nonlinear functions. So, and you can write a function rule for either. So we want a rule for the area of a rectangle whose length is 3 inches more than the width. What is the area of a rectangle when the width is 7 inches? Whenever I'm doing a problem that involves geometry, I like to make a drawing to represent what I have, and that helps me think about what the expressions are going to be to represent this. It says the length is 3 more than the width. So the length is really a function of the width. If the width, whatever the width is, the length will be 3 more than that. Okay, and then the area, remember, is length times width. But in this case, the area is a function of the width. And we're going to use these two expressions to get that. We're representing the width as W. And then we're representing the length as W plus 3. So length times width is W times quantity, W plus 3. And then it says, what is the area of a rectangle when its width is 7? So we want the area of a rectangle with a width of 7. And so we're just going to substitute 7 for W and evaluate that, and we get 7 times 10, which is 70. And since we're talking about the area, we better label that. The area of the said rectangle is 70 square inches. All right, you try that. All right, that's it for this lesson. Go ahead and do the lesson check and be ready to share that with class next time we meet.